Why good people stayed silent. When we look back at history, one question continues to echo through time. Why did more people speak out? Why did more people resist? Why did so many ordinary people remain silent while injustice unfolded around them? It's easy to believe that we would have acted differently. Most of us like to think we would have stood on the right side of history. We imagine ourselves defending the innocent, speaking the truth, standing against oppression. But psychology tells us that reality is often far more complicated. Silence is one of the most common human responses to fear, uncertainty, and social pressure. It doesn't always come from agreement. Sometimes it comes from hesitation. Sometimes from self-preservation. And sometimes from believing that someone else will take responsibility. Psychologists call this the bystander effect. The idea is surprisingly simple. The more people who witness a problem, the less likely each individual is to step forward and help. Responsibility becomes divided among everyone. Each person assumes that someone else will act first. And while everyone waits, nothing happens. This phenomenon was studied by psychologists John Darley and Bibb Lawtain after a tragic event shocked the public. Their research revealed that people are far more likely to help when they are alone than when they are surrounded by others. The presence of a crowd often reduces a person's sense of personal responsibility. Why? In other words, the more witnesses there are, the fewer people actually take action. This psychological pattern helps explain one of history's most difficult questions. In Nazi Germany, many ordinary citizens saw signs that something was wrong. Some witnessed discrimination against their neighbors. Others heard stories of arrests, disappearances, and violence. Many recognized that innocent people were suffering. Yet countless people remained silent, not necessarily because they supported every action, but because speaking out carried enormous risks. Questioning authority could cost someone their job, their freedom, or even their life. Others convinced themselves that their voice wouldn't matter. Some believed the government knew best. Others assumed that someone braver, someone more powerful would intervene. But when everyone waits for someone else, no one acts. History reminds us that injustice doesn't always grow because of those who commit it. Sometimes it grows because too few people are willing to challenge it. This lesson extends far beyond Nazi Germany. The bystander effect can be seen in schools, workplaces, communities, and even online. People witness bullying, harassment, corruption, discrimination. Yet many choose silence because they fear standing alone. Psychology doesn't excuse silence, but it helps us understand why it happens. Recognizing this pattern gives us the opportunity to break it. Courage rarely begins with dramatic acts of heroism. More often, it begins with one ordinary person deciding to say, "This isn't right." History has shown us that one voice can inspire another, and another, until silence is replaced by action. As we reflect on the choices made during one of history's darkest chapters, perhaps the most important question isn't why they stayed still, and it's this: if you witness injustice today, would you wait for someone else to speak first, or would you become the voice that others find the courage to follow?